Today's First Alert afternoon weather update is brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.
Good Thursday afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here live for our Thursday afternoon First Alert weather live stream. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today as we take a look at that cold air that has continued to impact mid-Michigan over pretty much all of the week. Some light snow chances and what you can expect here for the next couple of days. As always, if you have any questions, head over to our Facebook page at WNEM TV5 News. There, I will try to answer any of the questions that you may have. I do apologize if I miss your questions. I don't always get the chance to look at the chat, but I do try my best to look over there. Excuse me. Looking at our sky tracker right now, it is showing that cloud cover may be trying to move itself down to the south. If you live out there in Isabella, Gratiot, Shiawassee counties, including Mount Pleasant, Alma, and Owasso, those are areas that you still have cloud cover, but definitely starting to see some more sunshine here into this 2 o'clock hour. I know I was looking at our camera on Frankenmuth at Snowfest, and you're actually seeing some sunshine there. And actually, I'll pull up downtown Flint right now. That is showing that cloud cover starting to move a little bit farther south, and you're seeing more sunshine here in this afternoon. Really, the trend we're going to see the rest of the day is this in and out cloud cover, and that will be something we have to watch out for tonight, because cloud cover does influence our temperatures. If we get more cloud cover, we actually stay warmer, and that may end up fighting off some of that colder air that's been trying to set up as we get through tonight into tomorrow morning. So if you're someone that has to be outdoors into tomorrow morning, you may want to watch that cloud cover tonight just to give you an idea of how warm or how cold we will be, because if we lose the cloud cover, we're going to drop temperatures. Pinpoint Doppler also isn't showing much. There may be a few light snow chances where you do have more clouds, but at this point in the afternoon, we do anticipate to be mostly dry. I'm not going to count out a few of those isolated snow chances here or there. And even one thing you probably notice here on this model, this forecasting model, is it's definitely predicting more cloud cover than what we're seeing right now. So like I mentioned before, that is something we're going to have to watch out for through the rest of today, but especially tonight in terms of our temperatures, because that does have that influence. Because if models are a little bit overactive with that cloud cover and we actually end up being clearer tonight than what this is showing us, that makes all the difference. What it is showing though is by 5 a.m. most of that cloud cover should be moved out. We'll have clear skies and sunshine into Friday morning, and that's what's going to help us be on the colder side. By the afternoon, cloud cover is trying to build itself in. We'll see how that develops. I think you do see some good periods of sunshine for our Friday. We will see some light snow chances possible. Then we get into Saturday. It's just going to be a mix of cloud cover and sunshine, especially as you're waking up. I think there is going to be a chance of some lake effect snow into Huron, Tuscola, and Sanilac counties as we get through Saturday, but it's a very small chance as we get through Saturday. Even this forecasting model here on our hour by hour is having a tough time picking up that snow. There's been a few other models though that do have that small chance developing into, again, Huron, Sanilac, and as far west as Tuscola and Lapeer counties. By Saturday night, we just continue to have that mix of cloud cover and clear skies, and that carries over into our Sunday morning. Now, as we look across the region, temperatures right now are mostly in the single digits and mid to lower teens. As you can see, West Branch at 7 degrees, Holton Lake at 7 degrees, West Branch at 11 degrees, Bad Axe at 9. You have Bay City also sitting at 9 degrees, Saginaw at 10. Many areas are going to sit right where we're sitting right now through the remainder of our Thursday. The one thing is wind has calmed down just a little bit. There still is some breezy areas. Port Hope right now seeing wind gusts up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. But for the most part, winds are sitting out of the northwest at 5 to 15. And again, we'll catch wind gusts up to 20 to 25 through the remainder of the day. Now let's look at what we've been issued. We have had some updates from the National Weather Service. Not really surprised by this. I think we're still waiting on if the National Weather Service in Detroit does issue any cold weather alerts. But for now, our northern counties, Gladwin, Aranac, Iosco, Ogama, and Roscommon counties are seeing a cold weather advisory That starts tonight, goes until 10 a.m. on Friday. It's once again for wind chills at 15 to 20 below zero. Again, if you get that cold for longer periods of time, which it does look like we will, frostbite is possible in 30 minutes. So just be prepared for that if you have to be outdoors in our northern counties. Like I mentioned, we'll see if any more counties get issued pretty much farther south than this. This is actually going to be falling on the National Weather Service in Detroit to issue the cold weather advisories, which again, there's going to be a chance, I think, especially Huron County, Tuscola County, that you may have that possibility. It's going to be very close though. That threshold we're right on the line of the threshold for some of these alerts. But I think the big thing is air temperatures are going to be cooler. Now, like I mentioned before, cloud cover makes the difference. If more cloud covers in the sky, we'll be a little bit warmer. We may end up not seeing those coldest temperatures like we see here in our lows tonight. Now, if that cloud cover leaves us, we're going to drop pretty fast. This is just our air temperature alone, seeing 15 below zero in Holton Lake, West Branch at 13 below, Standish, Gladwin, Clare, all at 8 below zero. As you get into Bay City, the Tri-Cities, really all of them, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland at 4 below zero, Flint at 4 below zero for tonight into tomorrow morning. The one thing we're sort of lucky with right now is our wind is going to stay relatively calm as we get through tonight into tomorrow morning. So even as our air temperatures drop, well, that wind chill isn't going to be as impacted. Yes, there will be some areas that do see that drop. When we look at our future, it feels like we're still sitting below zero in many locations. And then through tonight with our air temperatures dropping and still sitting with a light wind, it's not going away totally, but there still is a lighter wind. We can see our future feels like temperatures showing 20s below zero up to the north and out there to the east, Huron and Sanilac County, even Tuscola County being closed. So that's why I've mentioned before, I think we're going to have to watch for our eastern counties into that cold weather advisory from the National Weather Service. Again, they'll make that decision here in the next couple of hours if they do want to issue it, because that window looks to be there. Here at 7 a.m., as many of us are getting out, where most locations, most cities across mid-Michigan at 10 below zero to 25 below zero, and even a few areas popping as low as 30 below zero. You can see Port Hope, an area that's typically a little bit windier, seeing that colder wind chill as we get out and about. By midday, we get back into the lower teens and into the single digits for Friday afternoon. So still cold, but recovering temperatures into Friday. You wake up Saturday morning, it's right back into areas like 5 to 15 below zero. And then Sunday morning, it's more of the same. We really just can't beat this streak of wind chills being at 5 to 15 below zero. Luckily, next week, we may start to break that pattern just a little bit. I did, though, want to look at traffic for anyone that does have travel plans here across the region into this afternoon. Northern counties, you're looking good right now. M18 there into Roscommon County, maybe a few slowdowns, but for the most part, you are in the good. Down to the Tri-Cities, the Thumb, into the central Michigan area, all is good. Just a typical slowdown here or there, especially in Bay City or Saginaw, so don't be surprised by that. And then as you head down to the south, it's just your typical slowdowns. It does look like there's an accident either on 75 there. Let me see if I can pull that up just to see where that accident is. Just west of Grand Blanc. It's on I-475 southbound after Hill Road at exit 2. There's an accident blocking the right lane. So again, if you're traveling there on I-475, right lane is blocked just after Hill Road / exit 2. So just be wary of that. Otherwise, just your typical sort of early afternoon slowdowns in Genesee County and Shiawassee County around Owasso, and then M52 southbound as you head into Perry. But I don't see any questions over in our chat. I do have to take a quick break. When we come back from that break, I'm going to be looking at temperatures and wind chills for the next couple of days, our wind, and much more. So you're going to want to stay right there. Well, welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here live for the second half of our afternoon First Alert weather live stream. We're going to start off looking once again at our feels like temperatures here. Obviously, it's sort of been the story of the week with cold air just continuing to sit across not only Michigan, but much of the United States, at least our northern states. I think that does look to start to trend away into next week. We'll see that here in just a second on our 7-day forecast. But again, as we get through tonight into tomorrow, we are starting to see our wind chills return back into that sort of 15 to 20 below zero range, with a few areas at 20 to 30 below zero. Now, cloud cover will really determine how we set up tonight, because if we're a little bit cloudier, we stay maybe just a tad bit warmer, and with our wind staying a little bit calmer than what we've been seeing, our wind chills maybe don't fall as far. Now, I will say models are maybe underperforming a little bit. Cloud cover is starting to leave us. So that may end up giving us cooler temperatures tonight. Something we're going to have to watch out for here over the next couple of hours, see how forecasting models adapt to what they're seeing in the sky. But I just want to highlight that, again, we do have feels like temperatures tomorrow morning sitting at as low as 10 below zero all the way to closer to 30 below zero. So like I showed earlier in the stream, our northern counties right now have been issued a cold weather advisory that starts tonight. That goes until Friday at 10 a.m. And again, it's going to be up to the National Weather Service in Detroit to see what they're seeing. They may end up issuing more cold weather advisories, especially into, I think, Huron County and Tuscola County and Sanilac County. I think those will be the areas that if we see more cold weather advisories issued, that will be the area, but could be widespread. It could be across the state. It's just right now, our northern counties, we will have updates if we get more cold weather advisories issued through the remainder of the day. Now, highs for tomorrow, not much warmer than what we're seeing today. Actually, right about the same sort of range as what we're seeing today. Upper single digits, mid to lower teens. A lot of areas at really 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 degrees. But like I mentioned before, the nice thing is our wind is staying a little bit calmer here over the next couple of days. Yes, there will be some wind gusts tonight, up to 10 to 15 miles per hour. If you live out in Huron County, Sanilac County, maybe up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. But for the most part, it's not the most widespread, not the strongest wind gust. Picks up a tad bit into Friday afternoon and then into Friday evening, but even that's still calmer than what we've been seeing. It's winds out of the north, northeast, or northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour as we are moving through Saturday morning and then Saturday afternoon. Most of mid-Michigan stays on the calmer side. It's areas, again, out towards our eastern counties, up to 25 to possibly 30 miles per hour. We can see Port Hope at 22, so approaching 25 as we get into our Saturday evening. This is Saturday 8 p.m., so we'll say Saturday evening for those sort of breezier conditions in eastern Huron and Sanilac counties. Now let's take another look at our hour by hour. It's again showing cloud cover in the sky. That's the one thing I do want to just quickly point out. At least this forecasting model that I'm using here does have cloud cover. If you've been outdoors, you probably noticed there's more sunshine out there than maybe what this is showing. So like I'm just going to continue to mention, that is something we'll have to watch out for over the next couple of hours is how does cloud cover continue to develop? Is it something we see more of later in the day, or do we stay pretty clear? Because that will have a pretty good influence on our temperatures as we get through tonight. But if we do get cloud cover, don't be surprised if you see a few flakes of snow. It's not going to be the heaviest, but just enough that you could get your car covered real quickly. Obviously, roads will become slick if it does become snow covered, so just be prepared for that. Friday morning does continue to hold clear skies, maybe some sunshine before cloud cover once again builds itself across the region for our Friday afternoon. And like I mentioned before, if you do see cloud cover, you could see a few flakes of snow. We are not going to count that out. Then we get into Saturday. It's another day where we sort of have that mix of cloud cover and sunshine. And then I think areas like Huron County, Sanilac County, with that northwest or northeast wind that's trying to set up, just be prepared. You could see some lake effect snow into the sort of day as sun rises, especially if we do get that wind picking up a little bit. So if you do live, I think, east of Bad Axe, east of Sandusky, along that shoreline, that would be an area that you could start to see some lake effect snow come Saturday. It's a pretty small chance, but it definitely is there when we do see a north wind. And it's going to be one of those things that if you are out and about and you maybe have a radar app, including the TV5 First Alert Weather app, and you're looking at the radar, you might not see much on it. It's going to be very low in the atmosphere, just in a location that radar has a tough time picking up on that snowfall. Craig says, hi, Stone. Hello, Linda. Good afternoon to you as well. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. But like I said, no widespread snow chances, nothing that's really disrupting our Friday and weekend plans. Even Sunday, which we've had a streak here of almost 3 or 4 weeks of snow on Sundays, either Sunday morning or Sunday night, heading into Monday. We don't seem to have that, at least for now. Things could obviously quickly change, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And then as we roll into a Monday, I think we have some lighter chances of snow, but it doesn't really look like anything too widespread here for at least 3 to 5 days. We'll have to just maybe keep an eye out for mid next week to see how things are developing. Now, I did want to quickly update this. We haven't looked at this in a while because it is winter. Snow needs to melt to really help a lot of our drought monitor situation, but it was Thursday. I thought let's take a look at it just because it did update this morning just to show how we're sort of lining up as we get through the end of January into February. What you're seeing right now is most of mid-Michigan is holding on to that abnormally dry conditions. Down to the south, those will be areas that have improved actually over the last month and a half. The one area that hasn't improved, and it's been now about 3 months that hasn't seen any improvement, that is Western Huron County. That severe drought has just sat there and hasn't moved. Now, snow melt here over the next couple of months, that should help improve some of this drought situation, but that was something we could look at here. Just because it does get updated on Thursdays, and I thought we're at the end of the month. We haven't looked at it in a while. So luckily, once we start getting that snow melt, I think that will help us out as we head into spring. Alice says, sure hope we get a break here soon. I'm tired of all this cold weather and snow. I know. There's a lot of locations across the state that are probably pretty sick of the cold weather. I know Western Michigan, they're really sick of the snow. If you have any family members out there, Grand Rapids, Muskegon, Ludington, Manistee, those areas, Big Rapids, and just snow, it feels like nonstop. I had a friend in Grand Rapids that asked me, is it ever going to stop snowing? I think we're getting there with the trend here. Could you see some light stuff on the western half of the state? Yes. Luckily, mid-Michigan is putting ourselves in a better spot, at least a dry weekend into the start of next week. We see that here in our 7-day forecast. It's still cold. We're probably not getting out of that below average temperature quite yet, but I think a lot of people are going to be happy with 20s compared to single digit highs. But again, 7-day forecast, single digits for tomorrow. Again, wind chills in the morning will be a factor, especially if our air temperatures continue to drop, if we lose cloud cover. As we head into the weekend, it is teens and 20s, and then staying in the 20s into next week. And hopefully that continues to be a trend, and hopefully eventually we can get back above freezing. I don't know the amount of days. I know Matthew has been mentioning it a few times in his morning streams of how many days we've been below freezing, but it's at least been since the start of the month, since we last saw a day above freezing. So we just been unlucky here. And it's not only us, like I've mentioned before, lots of the country has been experiencing this cold air. I think Florida, the Tampa area, actually had a snow chance. I don't know if that was this morning. It was a light snow chance, but for them, that's a bit of a shocker. And it won't last long. I think by the weekend, they're back above average. So, but that just tells you how much influence this cold air has on the United States. It's reaching as far south as Florida, giving them some light snow chances as we head into the next day or so. But with that, I don't see any more questions in our chat. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today. As always, make sure you check out our newscast this afternoon at 4, 5, 5:30, and 6. You can also check out our evening live stream where Chief Meteorologist Chris Easlick will have more updates from the TV5 First Alert Weather Team. Hopefully everyone can stay warm here. Hopefully everyone can stay dry if you do get snow, and enjoy your Friday and your weekend.
Thank you for joining us. Today's stream has been brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.